Hello good people and welcome to Finance Skills Hub. Here we learn, we connect and we grow. In this short video we are going to learn how we can create this summary table that aggregates sales by year and month and also applies some conditional formatting from this sales table. This sales table has dates from 1st January 2019 to 2020. So we have 2 years of dates here. And then we have the details of our sales and the amount here. So we go through about 3 ways you can do this using SUMPRODUCT, using sum with arrays, and then pivot tables. So the first step is to lay out our table. So I'll put my month here, and if you like you can hard code these years if you have specific years you are dealing with. So I can put in 2019, 2020. But if you want to make it dynamic, you can create a formula that always pulls the unique years. So to do that, I can first use the year function. I can reference the column that contains my dates over here. Okay, so once I do this, I'm able to get the unique years going downwards. Okay. Now this brings every instance of a date, but I can use unique around this. So a new function unique. Okay, will now take off the duplicates and give me just these 2. Okay, then I can add transpose to change the orientation. Okay, and then place it in the horizontal layout like this. Okay, so unique and transpose are 2 new features in Microsoft 365. Now I can add my change header, and then I have this header. Now let's look at the month labels. In some cases you can just put 1, 2 onwards here, okay, to represent each month value. But a dynamic way you can do this is to create dates, okay, from any of these years, and then you can format it to give you these month labels. So to do that, again, you can use the date function. So the date function requires 3 inputs: the year, which we have here. Okay, now the month can be any month value from 1 to 12, but we want to use a dynamic way to generate this. So as we copy down, we want to be counting the number of rows that we are selecting, and to do that we can use the rows function. Okay, and then select this row, bring a colon to reference the cell to itself. Now I'm going to lock the first row in the first cell reference, so I'll put a $sign here. Now what this means is that if I copy down, I'll get L7 to L8, which will give me 2 rows. If I extend, I'll get 3, and so on, thereby getting my series of numbers for the months. So I'll close this, and then for the day, it's just the beginning of the month I want in each instance. Now because I'll be copying down, F4 to lock the cell reference to year. Okay, and then I'll enter. So this gives me the 1st of the month of January. So this gives me 1st January 2019. Then I can just go down, Control D. Okay, and then I have all the 12 months here. Now what I want to do is to format this just for the month labels. So while I've selected, I'll press Control 1. So Control 1 opens up the custom format. Then I'll use custom here, and then I'll format this MMM for the full name and 3 M's for the abbreviated version, and then I click OK. Okay, so this is one neat way to generate the dynamic month labels. Now the main thing we need in our calculation is the month value. So if I reference this, you realize that I have my month values here up to 12. Okay, so I'm just showing you this so that when we use it in our formulas you would understand. Okay, now I'm going to put border lines around this. So I've highlighted Alt HBA, okay, to bring me my border lines. Then I can now proceed with my calculations. So we are going to do the first example with SUMPRODUCT. Okay, so SUMPRODUCT is a very powerful function in Excel. So it basically tests the conditions you've set in an array and returns true or false if that condition is met. Now the value for true is 1 and the value for false is 0. So you can take advantage of this boolean 1 and 0 and then do our calculations, simply that. So equal to sum product. Okay, I'll open my bracket and then test my first array. So my first array will check the month, okay, of all the dates here. So I'll go and select this date. Okay, so that's my table. Okay, and then test if the month here is equal to the month value in this dates that I changed into the month label. Okay, so if it's January, it will be 1 is equal to 1 and it will return true. Okay, if not, then it will return false. Okay, so if I demonstrate this with an F9, you see that I have a series of false and trues. This is what is going to be turned into ones and zeros. Okay, so this is the first of our tests. So now that I've done this, I'll proceed with our second test. And here we are testing with the year. So the same thinking is the year in this array, okay, of dates. So I'm going to select this again. Okay, and then when I come here, I'll test this to check if this is equal to, this time we're not using year because we already have the year value here. Okay, so I'll close this for our second array. Okay, now in all situations where this is met, it will return 1 times 1. I can now multiply this by the corresponding values. Okay, so if it didn't return anything, then I'm going to get 0 times 0, okay, times the final value. Okay, then whatever value I get, it will multiply and then sum. That is how sum product works. Okay, now because I'll be copying this down, I need to lock the M7 part. So F4 to lock this at column level so the rows can move down, and then the year, I'm going to lock it at row level. Okay, so I get this, Control Shift 1 to format this, highlight to the right, highlight down using the shift directional keys, so Control R, Control D, and then I have my summary by month and year. Okay, so this is one way to do this. This is for some product, but if you are using Office 365 or Microsoft 365 with the new dynamic arrays, you really don't have to go through this using some product, because this array can be multiplied at a go. I can simply take off the products from the sum, okay, and then when I enter, I get the same. So here you see that we just sum. I can use these arrays to multiply and get my values. Okay, now let's quickly learn how we apply this format. So here we just subtracting the current year from the previous year, and then we copy down. Okay, so we have a series of negative and positive values. We are going to apply a custom format to this. Now I'll just highlight this, okay, and then press Ctrl 1. So I'll press Ctrl 1 and then I come to the Format Cells menu. Then I'll go to Custom, okay, and put in my custom script. So for my custom script, what I want is the letter P, okay, the letter P when it is positive, and then the letter O when it is negative. Okay, so this will just put P and O here, but I want to color this. So the color for green, or the color code for green, is color 10. So I'll put this, okay, before P, and then I'll put in square bracket red for the O. Okay, I can leave the text portion. So this is just the positive and the negative. Okay, now let's see what we get. If I click OK, you realize that I now have a series of O's and P's. Okay, now this, if I come to home and I format this using Wingdings 2, okay, it will now format it properly and then give me the tick and crosses for my positive and negative numbers respectively. Okay, the rest is just formatting that you can do, the blue and white. Now let's quickly learn how you could achieve the same thing using pivot tables. So this is already a table. I can stand in here, insert a pivot table. Okay, for comparison, I'm going to put this in the existing worksheet just by the side. Okay, so I'll put this here and I'll click OK. Okay, so with our pivot tables, we can create this summary by putting the sales in the value section. Okay, so this is the sum of everything, and then I can put the dates in the row section. Now when I get this, I can select any of these dates, right click, and then I will group. Okay, so I want months, press Ctrl and select years, so I have years and months here, and I click OK. This now groups my sales into years and months. Right, with these two years and month fields, I can simply drag the year into the column. Okay, and then I have the same layout as we did earlier. Now at this point, you can go to design and then take off your grand totals. Okay, and then do the same change calculation in this row. Okay, so I've given you 3 options to do this: SUMPRODUCT, SUM, and pivot tables. Please practice and add it to your lists of Excel tricks. Thanks for watching. If this video was helpful and you would like to receive more of these videos directly on your WhatsApp, you can send ad to this WhatsApp number. We'll add you to our broadcast list so you receive our videos directly. You can also visit our YouTube channel, Finance Skills Hub. All our old videos are here. Please subscribe for notification of new videos, or connect with us on any of these social media handles. Thank you so much for watching.